El Club de Lectura del Refugio Antiaéreo de Annie Lyons es una novela histórica sobre el poder que tienen los libros de ofrecernos consuelo en tiempos difíciles. Inspirada en hechos reales poco conocidos de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, la autora nos traslada a Londres de 1938. Cuando los bombardeos alemanes se ciernen sobre la capital británica, Gertie, la librera protagonista de esta historia, acogerá a Hedy, una niña judía refugiada que forma parte de la operación de rescate Kindertransport, que salvó a unos 10.000 niños. Juntas crearán el Club de Lectura del Refugio Antiaéreo y comprobarán el verdadero poder de la comunidad, la amistad y la magia de los libros.
So I decided to set the book in the Second World War because it was during the pandemic. It was 2021, and I'd noticed some similarities between the way that communities pulled together during the pandemic and during the Second World War, and I was very interested in how communities sort of came together to help one another. And different circumstances, of course, but the Second World War is such an interesting part of history. I love my history, and I'm so interested in the Second World War. So there's fantastic resources. The Imperial War Museum has an amazing set of resources, lots and lots of interviews and pictures and films to watch, so I use that a lot. Our BBC website has the People's War. It's an archive where people told stories about the Second World War, about their experiences and their relatives' experiences. Really, really interesting. So I use that a lot to get the real kind of human aspect, the sort of real life stories that inspired it. So this book is set in London, but a lot of it, the town of Beechwood, where Gertie lives with Hedy, is a fictionalised version of Hayes, near where I live actually. The reason I wanted to set it there was because I love that part of London, but also it has such a great sense of community, and that was such a key part of the story of how the community pulls together and how they help one another during the war. So that was really key. And then the other setting, of course, is the bookshop, and here we are in this beautiful bookshop because, again, during the pandemic we were not able to go to bookshops and we missed them so much. So the blackouts, that law was enforced as soon as the Second World started, so you couldn't put a light on. You had to have basically from when it sunset to dawn, there was no light allowed in any houses, in any offices, in any commercial places. If you even had a chink of light that came out onto the street, you'd get told off by the air raid wardens. So people had a lot of time, long evenings of darkness where you could only have a lamp, or they were in air raid shelters. And actually, for a lot of the war, I know there were raids, but when there were no raids and it was quiet, it was actually quite boring. So people needed something to do, and bookshops and publishers and libraries all came together and launched book clubs. There was the Book Society had a very famous book club. Foyles, the bookshop, they had a book club, and publishers like Penguin and Collins, they all had book clubs and did special editions of books.